A workshop on promoting a better understanding of the BBNJ agreement for small island developing states. At this time, I would invite you to stand for the national anthem, please. Okay, thank you. You can have a seat. All right, so good morning again. Welcome to Belize. And my name is Rolando Caballero, and I'm Foreign Service Officer, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. And the government of Belize, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, in partnership with the UN Division for Ocean Affairs and the Law of the Sea, is pleased to host the first BBNJ Agreement workshop for Caribbean states on the beautiful Placenta Peninsula. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all our colleagues from across the Caribbean. Bienvenidos a nuestros colegas de la República de Cuba y la República Dominicana. Bienvenue à notre collègue de la République d'Haïti. Colleagues joining us online, a pleasant good morning. Her Excellency Amalia Mai, CEO in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Her Excellency Nicole Davison, High Commissioner of the UK to Belize, and Mr. Aniceto Rodriguez Ruiz, Head of Cooperation, EU Delegation to Belize, senior government officials, colleagues, friends, once again, welcome. At this time, I would like to invite Her Excellency Amalia Mai for her remarks, opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Rolando. Good morning, everyone. I see that we have a very good head count this morning. So I hope you also enjoyed a good reception last night and had a chance to wish Aisha happy birthday. So it's a whole week about her. Nicole, good morning. High Commissioner Aniceto, Ms. Alpin, Janine, Ambassador Janine, Lisa, and everyone, please feel at home today, this morning, here in the peninsula of Placencia. And it is my pleasure to welcome you today to this event. I think that it took us some months to plan. I know when we reached out to the High Commissioner, she was very happy and very enthused that we could do this in Belize, and of course with the United Nations. So I want to thank the UK and I want to thank the UN for assisting us in this project. I hope you enjoyed the scenic drive to Placencia yesterday and that you had a chance to see a different part of Belize. We believe at the Foreign Ministry, and I think you will agree, that Placencia provides the perfect setting and is absolutely a good fit for this BBNJ workshop here in Belize. And so it's an honor for us to host this regional workshop for Caribbean SIDS on marine diversity of areas beyond national jurisdiction, better known as the BBNJ agreement. We also believe that it is absolutely important that the Caribbean maintains its leadership and its active engagement in the BBNJ process. The Caribbean must be well positioned to implement the agreement when it comes into force. To do so requires continuous efforts to build capacity for implementation, and it requires building awareness of the agreement among the widest group possible of stakeholders. Throughout the BBNJ process, our region has made a concerted effort to maintain stakeholder engagement and ownership of the agreement, and this must continue as we move to the next phase. We also see this workshop as an important part of this continuum. So colleagues, the BBNJ agreement is extremely important for its own substantive reasons, but also its adoption was an achievement for multilateralism at a time when that issue is in serious doubt. The agreement signals the strong interest of states to further strengthen the international legal regime in relation to oceans, and importantly, a commitment to protecting our oceans' diversity. Today, as we all know, our oceans are in crisis. Pollution from plastics, overfishing, explosion of sargassum, and climate change are dealing an all-out assault on our oceans. The rate of ocean warming has doubled in the last 20 years. The high seas are becoming more acidic. Estimates indicate that the ocean is polluted by a plastic smog made up of an estimated 171 trillion plastic particles that, if gathered, would weigh around 2.3 million tons, according to a new study. The value of illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing is estimated to be $36.4 trillion each year. These are complex, formidable, and entrenched challenges that we're facing today. The good news is that the BBNJ provides an important legal framework that can help us to manage the ocean crisis. It can help us to promote more sustainable marine industries, and it will support the 30 by 30 global target commitment, which is to protect at least 30% of lands, freshwaters, and oceans by 2030. And it also provides a basis for the sharing of benefits from oceans' genetic resources. Importantly, area-based management tools and environmental impact assessments will help us to better protect and plan activities beyond national jurisdiction and to sharpen our understanding of impacts on ocean environments. The agreement recognizes the necessity of capacity building and the transfer of marine technology to support countries like ours in oceans management. And so it will be in the interest and benefit of us and of the oceans that we move with speed to ensure the entry into force of the agreement and its implementation thereafter. We have therefore arrived at a critical milestone to achieve that entry into force. This workshop, we hope, will support Caribbean countries to be able to contribute to reaching that milestone. For Belize, this is an urgency for action on oceans and for implementation of the BBNJ. Our region has a deep and historical connection with the ocean. It is integral to our economies, to our livelihood, and to our security. It is also a central part of our shared identity, our heritage, and our culture. It is who we are, and it will shape our future. So here I want to wish you a very productive workshop, and again to thank our partners at this workshop today. And I wish to ask that you at least take a little bit. I know you're going to go to Mohoki, and so you will see another part of Belize and what we're doing in conservation. We think that it is critical that you see a little bit of Belize, not only the drive here, but some of what we're doing at Mohoki. So thank you very much and welcome to Belize.
Thank you, Ambassador. And at this time, we'd like to invite Her Excellency Nicole Davison, High Commissioner of UK to Belize. Hands, please.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nicole Davison. I'm the British High Commissioner to Belize. I've been here for 2 years now, which I hope also gives me a little bit of right to welcome you to this stunningly beautiful country and to welcome you to this event as well. I'll keep my remarks relatively short because CEO Mai has already set out in so eloquently about why this is so important and why this is so important for the region. But also, I readily admit that this is not my area of expertise, and I know that you really want to get on with the substance of things. So I'll keep my remarks relatively short, but I do want to say it's a real honour to be asked to say a few words to you here at the beginning of this really important event. The UK government is really delighted to partner with the government of Belize in hosting this conference. When CEO Mai, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, asked whether we were willing to fund this event, we felt very strongly that this was an area of mutual interest in which we wanted to work together. As many of you will know, we recently had a general election in the United Kingdom, which resulted in the appointment of a new government. A few weeks ago, in his very first major foreign policy speech, the Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, stated that the UK government will put climate and nature at the heart of our foreign policy, and that the ambition is for the UK to again become a world leader in this very important issue. And the fact that that was his very first major policy speech was on climate and nature, I think underlines just where the UK is coming from on this. Since the election, the UK has lifted its de facto ban on onshore wind in England, pledged to end new oil and gas licenses while guaranteeing a fair transition in the North Sea, and has closed the last remaining coal plant, and that's all taken place in the last 100 days. The UK is very supportive of the BBNJ agreement, recognising it as an important step towards coordinated global action to tackle the climate and nature crisis. We also view it as a victory for multilateral diplomacy and the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. The UK signed the BBNJ agreement when it opened for signature on 20th September 2023. We remain completely committed to the ratification of the BBNJ agreement, and we are working to support other states to ratify through a Commonwealth Secretariat project to support smaller Commonwealth states in ratification. We really do applaud Belize for being the first Caribbean country to ratify the agreement, and I have to say you're way ahead of us that we haven't ratified yet. But this also highlights Belize's continued commitment to safeguarding 30% of the ocean by 2030 and as leaders in ocean conservation. We've partnered with Belize on a number of projects over the years, particularly in the marine economy, and I'm constantly amazed at just what is achievable here, but also what still needs to be done. The UK stands as a very, very proud partner to Belize, and again commends Belize on its leadership in this area. So with that, I will let others follow on, and I wish you a very, very successful conference, and I look forward to hearing the outcomes and following what comes next. Thank you very much.
Thank you, High Commissioner. And at this time, I would like to invite Charlotte Salpin from Doualas, and thereafter hand over to her for the rest of the day. And after she speaks, I invite you to the group photo downstairs in front of the lagoon, please. I'm sorry. So Mr. Aniceto Rodriguez Ruiz from the EU delegation would deliver his remarks now, and then after Charlotte. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. Her Excellency Amalia May, Chief Executive Officer of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Her Excellency Nicole Davison, High Commissioner of the United Kingdom to Belize, Madame Charlotte Salpin, Legal Officer at the Division of Ocean Affairs and the Law of the Sea at the United Nations Secretariat, dear delegates from all the nations of the Caribbean present here today, distinguished authorities, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, buenos días, bonjour en minu kisoti Haiti, en goedemorgen aan onze vrienden uit Suriname. It is a privilege to be here today in this workshop organized by the Division of Ocean Affairs and the Law of the Sea, let's see, DOALOS is shorter, with the support of the European Union. I want to begin by recognizing the crucial role that Caribbean nations have played in securing the landmark agreement on the biodiversity beyond national jurisdictions, also known as the BBNJ. EU, Caribbean countries, have championed the cause of marine conservation, recognizing that the health of our oceans is deeply tied to the prosperity of coastal communities, sustainable development, and global biodiversity. The Caribbean's unwavering commitment during the negotiations was instrumental in securing this historic deal that is the BBNJ Treaty. And now, there is another task, is to translate this achievement into action on the ground, into reality. I would also like to commend the Caribbean nations that have already ratified the BBNJ Treaty, Belize and Barbados. This early ratification demonstrates their leadership and sets a powerful example for the rest of the world. I'm very happy to emphasize the European Union's commitment to supporting DOALOS in organizing this capacity building workshop. In addition to the EU contribution to this workshop, I'm excited to highlight another source of financial and technical support for Caribbean states in implementing the BBNJ Treaty, the EU Global Ocean Programme, GOP, which will provide 40 million euros over 6 years, focusing on sustainable ocean use and technical assistance for developing countries. We are now working towards setting up the first deliverable of this Global Ocean Programme, is a dedicated technical assistance facility to support national efforts in developing countries regarding conservation and sustainable use of the high seas, in particular, to ratify and to implement this treaty. This support will complement other EU activities in the region in support of blue economy and marine conservation. The Global Gateway Initiative agenda in the region includes strong commitments on water and natural resources, notably with the creation of a water academy in Barbados, as well as roadmaps on global issues such as sargassum or wastewater and ocean pollution in the OECS. The European Investment Bank will be key to finance some of these projects and is already very much involved with the Clean Ocean Initiative. I'm also delighted to announce that the European Union has completed its internal procedures and it's ready to formally ratify the BBNJ. We will deposit the instrument of ratification together with many European Union member states before June 2025, in time for the UN Ocean Conference. This collective effort demonstrates the EU's leadership and dedication to global ocean governance. and we invite all nations to join us in ratifying this important agreement. In conclusion, the BBNJ Treaty is our shared responsibility. Caribbean states have led by example, and I hope the workshop will further support you in your leadership on the high seas and in ratifying the BBNJ agreement. Together, we are building a future where our oceans are protected, where their resources are managed sustainably, and where we ensure that they will be preserved for generations to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez-Ruiz. And now we have Charlotte. Charlotte, please.
Thank you, Rolando. Excellency Amalia Mai, Excellency Nicole Davison, Mr. Rodrigo Ruiz, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Mr. Vladimir Jaresh, who is Director of the Division for Ocean Affairs and the Law of the Sea of the Office of Legal Affairs at the United Nations, which is also known as DOALOS, a really warm welcome to this regional workshop on promoting a better understanding of the BBNJ agreement for small island developing states in the Caribbean region. I know many of you have traveled long journeys to join us this week in this amazing location in Placencia, and we are very, very grateful and honored to have you with us today. It is really fitting to be here in Belize for this workshop, which is graciously hosted by the government of Belize with the support of the UK government, and we thank both, and funded by the European Union. The Caribbean region has been instrumental, really, in the development of the agreement, and not only through the provision of one of the conference facilitators, Ambassador Janine Coy-Felsen of Belize, whom we are very honored to have with us today. Caribbean seas, in particular Belize, continue to play a leading role as we prepare for the entry into force of the agreement. 3 of the 13 ratifications to date are from Caribbean seas: Belize, Cuba, and Barbados. So congratulations to those states that have either signed or ratified. And of course, hint, we look forward to welcoming others very soon to the BBNJ agreement family. Testimony to Belize's commitment to the agreement, it was among the first to ratify the agreement, and is now also providing one of the 2 co-chairs of the Preparatory Commission for the agreement. Ladies and gentlemen, the agreement recognizes the special circumstances of seeds and requires that these be taken into account. It also contains many provisions addressing these special circumstances and the role of traditional knowledge of indigenous peoples and local communities, which we will expand upon later this week. As a result of the very active and skillful involvement of Caribbean states, the agreement addresses a number of issues of critical importance, not only to seeds, but also obviously to the Caribbean. So we will hear more about those this week, thanks to the presence with us of many negotiators from the region who have really spared no effort to ensure that the agreement saw the light. So this week, we aim to deepen our collective understanding of the agreement, and in line with the expectations that you have kindly shared with us before the workshop, we aim to discuss the various opportunities and benefits for Caribbean seeds stemming from the agreement. We will, of course, also endeavor to identify the practical measures that would need to be in place at the national level for the effective implementation of the agreement, as well as the challenges that Caribbean seeds might face in becoming parties to the agreement and for its future implementation. We also aim to identify the resulting capacity needs and priorities towards addressing these challenges. Last but not least, we of course hope as well that you will further develop your network and learn from other government officials in the region and other stakeholders in the challenging, but I should say not insurmountable task of preparing for entry into force. DOALOS, which serves as the secretariat for the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, and for the time being as the interim secretariat for the BBNJ agreement, has been actively involved in undertaking activities to promote a better understanding of the agreement and prepare for its entry into force. We are very grateful for the funding we have received from the European Union to carry out some of those activities, including the delivery of this workshop, which is the third in our program of activities. This week's workshop is one of the components of these efforts, tailored thanks to the very close cooperation of the government of Belize as we developed the program, to provide officials and stakeholders in the region with the information necessary to effectively engage with the agreement and implement its provisions. Thank you again for joining us this week. I really look forward to a fruitful, enriching, and productive exchanging during the workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. And at this time, invite everyone downstairs in front of the lagoon for the group photo, please.